So create a new project, Selenium. Using Maven, your project management will be very easy. Sorry, Maven project. Okay, and then project location Java. Here I am setting build system as Maven. Okay, JDK 11, and in advanced settings you have to give the group ID. The group ID can be the application name in which you are working. So let's say you work for facebook.com. Okay, so what you'll do, com.facebook. Okay, artifact ID will remain your project name. Okay, and then create it. This window here, if you see that project structure itself is created by the Maven itself. I don't have to worry. See how easy it is. Earlier I have to create manually each and everything, main, Java, com.facebook. Ar- and it has created one more folder named as resources. What is the significance, or what is the importance of resources? Whenever you write your project, right, so you need some test data where you are going to store. The good way to write your script, never hard code your code. Okay, so earlier if you see that how we have written our code, we have written our code in like this. Okay. So earlier we have written something like this: http driver get, and then I have written https www.google.com, right? So rather than giving the direct value over here, what I can do, I create a file over here. Let's say I want to store in JSON format, okay, or let's say text only. So test data dot properties, let's say properties files. So under that I will do URL is equal to. So see how we are organizing our. This is called organizing your project. You should never use you should never use the data inside your test script. Okay, remember that. Don't ever use the test data. Always create some property file or JSON file, text file, Excel file. There are different varieties of file format. Depending upon the requirement, you can store. So here, if you see that, I just have to use the URL over here. I mean, there is one way to access this particular property file. Just remember that we have to store test data outside our test scripts. Okay. So that is the usage of resources. Under the resources folder, we put our test data. Okay. So in Maven, under resources, what we'll do, we place our test data. Okay. Fine. I'm removing this. Is it not? I'll come. I will.
Because, like, you should not write any test cases under SRC.
Yeah, right. So, I'll tell you. I'll come to that part later. Now, project structure part is done. Okay. I will remove this main method. Now we are working for facebook.com. Okay, so facebook.com has different pages. Okay, so start with, I am going to modularize or organize my facebook.com project. So what I'll do, I'll create a package. I will name as login. Okay, or better I'll write pages and then login. Under that login I will create a login page. Okay, so here if you see that uh, each and every I'm going to structure my test project actually. So similarly you have to structure your project. So in source main you are going to write the logic how you're going to interact with the browser, okay, in the main method. and your test cases will come over here. Okay, now what we are doing, we are going to capture each and everything into our facebook.com page. Okay. uh, okay, now let's say main method, login page, web driver. Now here if you see that WebDriver and Chrome driver both are coming as red. Why? Can you tell why it's coming as red? Because there is no jar present in our my project. I have only JDK, right? There is no Selenium jar. How can I able to access the WebDriver class? It belongs to Selenium jar, correct? So I need to import, right? How can I import that? So Maven project has one configuration file. Okay, remember that that is very important file. Form.xml, project object model.xml. So whenever you create a Maven project, automatically this form.xml will get created. It's called project object model. Okay, this is a full form, and this is also a configuration file where you are going to configure your project configuration file. This is very important. Without this you are not able you will not able to execute your project actually. Okay, now let's see what we will have in our form.xml. We'll go to form.xml. Here if you see under the properties, whatever be the Java installed in your laptop, you have to mention over here. If you have 8, you will mention 8. If you have 11, you will mention 11. Since I have 11, I have placed my version over here, properties. Okay. Similarly, in the beginning, at the time of creation of Maven project, we have given group ID com.facebook and artifact ID is the this one project name. Now comes to the Selenium part, like how I'm going to how Maven will download, right? So in order to download, there is one repository, okay, which we say Maven repository, okay, MVN repository. Go to that repository and search Selenium. You will find the jars. Now we are not going to official websites. Now we are going to Maven repository because Maven is going to download for me. Okay, so Selenium, I'll search first one, Selenium Java. I will click this one, Selenium hyphen, and then 4.10 I will click this hyperlink, and then here if you see dependency is there. This is called dependency. Dependency is nothing but the library. Once I copy it, I will go to my Selenium Maven project and add one tag, dependencies. When I say dependencies, it is always a library. I am referring to library. So a project can has n number of libraries. So that is why dependencies tag is there. Under the dependency tag, you will paste your, okay. Once you paste your, the dependency, if you see right side, this sync button is there. Load Maven changes. Okay. Once you click on this, it will start downloading from the Maven repository to your local machine. Okay. Now, once it is sync right, so once it is synced, you will able to see all your libraries. So here I have not externally downloaded, Maven downloaded it. So all you have to do is to tell Maven that this is the version, this is the group ID, this is the Selenium Java, and this is the version you have to download. Once you do that, you will sync your project. automatically all your project will sorry, Selenium jar will appear over here. Okay. So let me start. Yeah, yeah, it will appear. So, okay, even if you don't see that, so there is another way. So, one more thing to do is, before you do that, what you have to do? Uh, if you see right side, Maven is there, right? Click on it, and then there is one settings, build tool settings. Click on it, Maven settings, and then here you see Maven home path is there, right? You have to set the Maven path over here, or you can use whatever present over here. Okay, so click OK, and then here you see Maven reload all Maven project. If you click, it will start syncing your project.